Welcome to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day with your hosts, David Towner and Sam McKeown. If this podcast does speak to you, please like, share, and comment. Let your friends know all about us. And now, here's your hosts, Dave and Sam. Well, welcome back to Today is My Favorite Day. I'm here with Daniel Soares again and with Faith
Hello.
Mayville.
Hey.
We're going to talk some more about the Harbor Church Food Pantry. But I want you all to understand that this is a labor of love that these two folks put in a ton of time, a ton of effort. And you know, none of us are getting any younger, but doing things like this help us to maintain a youthful spirit and a youthful, sometimes our bodies don't like it, but our spirit certainly does. And we're going to talk today about some of the logistics and some of the things that that we require when a person signs up. And then we want to tell you some stories of some things that actually go on. I've heard so much that come out of the food pantry every week. Every Wednesday night we have a prayer meeting for the church. It's a Zoom call, and if you look at the church website or in the bulletin, you'll find the link to jump on the prayer call with us if you're so inclined. You don't have to pray, you can just listen. Mm-hmm. But I'm so encouraged because we pray for so many different people, for so many different issues, health issues, finance issues, car issues, and it's just amazing to be able to do that. And as a pastor, Daniel, you know that these are things we just love to do. Yep. We love to be able to pray for people. Mm-hmm. But Faith, I understand you may have a couple stories for us, some things you might want to talk about.
One of the privileges I have in checking in people is I have built a relationship with these people over the past year and a half, 2 years, that they love sharing their needs and they feel safe in sharing their needs. Mm-hmm. And as they come through the line to get their food, how you feeling, how you doing? We've had a lot of people suffering with cancer, and we've been able to pray for them. We've seen how God has helped them through their chemo treatments. We've seen the loss of a gentleman who comes every week. His son passed away, and he ended up living in his car because he had no place to live, and we provide him with foods that he doesn't have to cook. There are families that have small children that are having financial issues that they can't pay for their doctor bills. And the food that we're giving them allows them to spend the money that they would on groceries to buy their medications. I've heard that. There's been times where people have come through and just hurting, and we'll take the time while they're filling their car with groceries. I'll just lean over and just ask if I could pray with them. And what an opportunity to watch. And then the next week they come back, oh my goodness, God answered that prayer. One lady came in and her car was barely running. And she said, will you just pray for my car? I just need to get home. I laid my hands on the hood of the car and I prayed for the car to get home. She got home. Her son said, I don't know how you got this car with an empty, their water. Mm-hmm. What do you call it?
Water pump?
Water pump was empty. Oh, wow. I don't know how you got home. I can't believe you didn't burn the engine up. Because, well, that lady at the food pantry paid over my car. So we're not just ministering to them in food and then words of encouragement. They'll come back, man, you encouraged me last week and I know I can get a job. We've prayed for jobs. God is providing jobs for them. Some people come every week, some come once a month, depending on their needs. But one cool story, I'll make it real quick. We were getting stuff to supplement our Thanksgiving dinner. And I went over and we were missing maybe 10 cans of gravy and some potatoes and whatever. And I put all this stuff on the conveyor belt and I was getting ready to check out. And this guy behind me said, what is all this for? You must be cooking for an army. And I'm like, no, this is for our church food pantry. These are the items we need because we're going to give them a full Thanksgiving dinner. And he said, I have a leftover Publix gift card here. Use this to pay for the rest, to help defray the cost of this. So I said, thank you, I'll take it. And so I'm putting more on another guy comes up and said, what are you doing? Food pantry was serving for Jesus. We're doing this for the community. He said, he took out his wallet. He said, here's $20 to go towards the cost. The lady who was doing the cashier broke down and cried, took $20 out of her wallet. The girl bagging up the groceries took all of her tips and put them on the countertop.
Oh, wow.
I paid $10 for over $150 worth of groceries between all that. People see the need they saw our sincerity, and they want to help. There are a lot of good people out there, and we're blessed to be able to share this. But as I get prayer requests before I leave, I text them to Pastor Sam, so that night he can see the prayer requests and we can pray specifically. A couple of them, I have given them my personal cell phone, so when they've had surgery, they've called and told us, thanked us for praying for them. So that's a blessing. So
you mentioned one word in there that is so key in our relationship to Christ, in our relationship one to another, our relationship with people in the community. Relationships are what is important. Up and down the line, we have to have a relationship with Christ. We have to have a relationship one with another. We may not always agree. We may not always get along. But we have to build those lasting relationships. And when it comes to, it's not easy sometimes for people to say, I need help. And I'll be honest with you. I was one of those that, God hit me upside the head with a 2x4, and I'll get into that story in another episode, to make me realize that I needed to ask for help from time to time. So, tell me a little bit. How many pounds of food do you think we give away a month?
Before we go there, let me just explore the relationship aspect a little bit with a couple of additional examples. For some reason, we are receiving a lot of immigrants from Central and Latin America countries. People that come here with empty-handed. They don't know anyone. They don't have anything. When they get here, they don't have a job. For some reason, they are sent here. And when it comes to the relationship, now it's really important because they find here someone that can at least speak a broken Spanish with them, have some understanding of their needs, and point them to the right directions in terms of where to go for each one of their needs. Most of the time, we have been able to serve them with the food, with medication, with a few other items. Sometimes they need a bed. We find some used beds to them, some refrigerator, whatever. So most of the time, we are offering them more than just the food, because God is giving us the opportunity to establish a relationship where they feel comfortable to share their entire story. And not just, hey, I'm here for the food today. And as we learn more, we pray and God keeps providing whatever is necessary so we can serve them. But if we go through this year and average the amount of food that we are giving up every month, it gets close to 30,000 pounds.
Whoa.
Every month.
That's a lot.
Yeah, every month.
That's a lot.
Close to 30,000 pounds.
Yeah, wow. I want to touch on the relationship thing a little bit more too, just from a pastor standpoint. And that is, we're tasked to take care of the widows and orphans. We're tasked to take care of those in need. And statistics show that, oh boy, somebody's going to say something about me talking about money. You know that? You know they're going to say something, okay? So we're tasked as a church to take care of the widows and orphans, to take care of one another. And statistics and percentages show that only a very small percentage of Christians actually tithe. And that's a whole nother story. But statistics also show if we could just double the amount now, we wouldn't need a welfare system in this country. And so just volunteer your time, donate a little bit more. I'm telling you, it's all worth it. And get on a process where you can do your giving. There's ministries out there that are in desperate need of your help, and we could always use more help here. So there are some requirements that we do have with the food pantry. Faith, did you want to get into those?
Yeah, we don't require a financial history to know what their job situation is. The only thing that our church is requiring is that we see their driver's license and that they live in in Hillsborough County. Because there are other facilities in Pasco, Pinellas, that they can get food. But for us, so when they sign in, we ask them to give us their name, how many are in their household, and how many children they have, and give us a phone number. And I always quickly tell them that we're not going to bug you for money. It's if we have to close and we need to notify you, we have a way to contact you. And then I look at their driver's license, and sometimes it's for spelling because we have so many foreign new names that I can't even barely pronounce, and I have fun with them learning how to say their names. And but we require them to sign, and then we add them to the list. And so each week they're handed this book that's in front of you, and their names are in alphabetical order by their first name. It's too hard with last names for some of these people. So, and all they have to do is sign in, that they're picking up food, and that's how we keep track of any new people, and we generally add anywhere from 2 to 5 names every week. And every 3 months, if they have not been there, we take their name off the list. It doesn't mean we can't add them back, but we take them off. Otherwise, this would be 500 pages long, and they would be looking forever. So most of them are happy to do that without any reservations.
Yeah, and the process is really simple and easy. A lot of places require quite a bit more. So what's the distribution process? I say I'm coming here on Wednesday, not this Wednesday because the pantry is closed because of our Make Waves Kids Week, but I come to get groceries. What is my process?
Well, right now, because we have the volume and we have to keep the cars off from racetrack, we actually put up cones down one side of the parking area, and they line up in 2 lines. And as they pull up, and a lot of them will be there at 3:30 lined up to cars turned off. Some of them bring lawn chairs. They get out and sit and talk with other people. They let their dog run around or whatever, because gas is expensive, and the car's running that long period of time. And as they come up, we have them sign in. I usually ask them how they're doing, any prayer requests, everything okay. And if I know something personal about them, I check up on them, how they're doing. And then we have them move forward into an area where we have people bringing a cart out with 2 yellow bins in it that we have put anywhere from 7 to 10 grocery bags full of different items. And someone is loading up the car, and then somebody else is taking that cart back in, and we have people inside that are filling those carts, but they take turns. We get one by one, they come up and we fill up their cars, and then they drive off. So
it's a pretty slick process if you've ever seen it. They really have their stuff together when it comes to bringing the cars in and out. So talk about our facility. I know that we have expanded the rooms that we're using. We've expanded the process. You want to talk a little bit about how we lay out the facility in order for you and Daniel and the rest of the folks to actually do the work?
We used to do it in the sanctuary. And actually this time last year, because it was during the Kids Week, we knew that there was no way we could handle it, and the numbers were getting too high. So we decided to use the student building. Pastor Dave or whoever's here on Monday put up all these 8-foot tables. There's maybe 8 to 10 of them up there. And as the deliveries come in, we have 2 double-wide refrigerators and 2 freezers. And then we have a storage area in the back that's got shelves where the dry goods stay back there. So when everything being over there, we set up and have everything in that facility over there. Do you want to add anything else about that?
No, just we are considering now the possibility to build a specific area for the food pantry. The demand is there, is not going anywhere, at least from where we can see. The installations that we are using, they are temporary. We are sharing somebody else's room on Tuesday.
That would be my room.
Yeah, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And but I think we are at a point where it's necessary to plan ahead to have something more permanent and specific to the food pantry operation. And hopefully God will bless us with the necessary resources to get that done.
So I do know over the course of time there have been some concerns about freezers and refrigerators and things like that. And if I remember correctly, when we put the word out, God answered.
Yep.
That's true. We were in need of a new freezer, and it was about $3,500 for the new freezer, and it didn't take a week until Pastor called me and said, hey, the money is here. We got a donation. We got 3 donations, and that was it. That was enough to have the $3,500 that we needed. So yeah, God is providing to all the needs that are out there by touching people's hearts that have the resources to help.
And that's one thing I found with the food pantry especially, is that it touches people's hearts, and they have a willingness in order to give back.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
And I just love it whenever the call goes out like that. We're not a wealthy church. We're not a big church,
Not at all.
and so when the call goes out, people step up and they donate and everything else. And so I will talk to the facilities a little bit. I know some of the discussions and things that we've had in the past, and having to think about expanding and things. For those of you who are out there, lift the church up in prayer a little bit, so that if we decide to go forward, that the process will be easy and easy to navigate, because sometimes dealing with government entities can be a little bit of a challenge.
Challenging.
Yeah. So where are we at now? What do we need?
I think right now one of our needs is a weekly issue we have with breaking down boxes. We probably handle 200 to 300 at least boxes to break down, and they have to be taken someplace to be either recycled or whatever, broken down, cut up, put into the bins we have here, which is overwhelming. So we are looking into getting a dumpster specifically for just recycle. So all our boxes, any of the boxes the church have from stuff, can all go in this recycle bin. Would save a tremendous, but that's going to be a monthly cost. So if you would like to say, hey, I'll handle that for the church, we'd love to see that, be helpful with that. Volunteers. We have a family who's moving to South Florida, and he and his family have not been able to help. So we always looking for people to help.
True.
Anything else? Oh, I know another one. If you have plastic bags that you take your groceries from, and you give them to recycle, you can keep and bring them to church. We're going to figure out a bin. We reuse those, and we package up all the food with plastic bags.
I do know one thing. If you do want to donate some plastic bags, on Amazon you can get them for about $25 for, I think it's 1,000. So that would greatly help if you're not quite sure what to do and you don't want to save your plastic bags. Buy a box and donate them. And anybody, any of the large grocery stores, big box stores, or anything like that has a trash compactor for cardboard that you're not using that you would like to donate, we would take that.
We would take it gladly, right?
And recycle all that cardboard.
It's true.
And then I think the biggest thing that we really need for all the ministries here, for people in the community, and that's prayer.
Yeah,
true.
You can't go wrong. So I want to thank you guys for taking your time today. You've given us a lot of information. Don't forget the blue barrels out there. If you really want to know what the needs are that you can drop off in the barrels, check our bulletin, check our website. We have all that information out there. Yeah. And as we close out today, I would encourage you, get involved in your community. If you don't want to come out and help here at the Harbor Church Food Pantry, get involved in a local nonprofit charitable organization that works in the community. And once again, Daniel, thank you.
My pleasure.
Faith, thank you. This has been Sam McKeown with Today is My Favorite Day. Live intentionally, be very, very blessed. Thank you, my friends. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to TIMFD. Today is My Favorite Day. The views, comments, and opinions expressed here today are those of the hosts and guests alone, and Dave and Sam are solely responsible for the content of this podcast. TIMFD, Today is My Favorite Day, is produced and directed by Alex Korn. Music is composed and performed by Chuck Vaught. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, live intentionally, and be very blessed, my friends.